This time, we are talking about consistency. What techniques are best used to repeat shots, how to stay in the game, and what that looks like from a lefty perspective. All that and more on Let's Talk Bowling.
This is Let's Talk Bowling. I'm your host, Coach Go Time. Down below, we have USBC Level 1 Coach Geek and also Big Josh Bowling in the house. How y'all doing today? All right. So today we're going to be talking about a few things. But Josh, we're going to get it started off with you like we do always with our guests. Tell us about yourself. High games, high series. When did you get started with bowling? How did you get into bowling? Competitively, where do you see yourself, and any goals that you have for yourself this year?
Let's see here. Started off when I was 5. My parents got me into it. And I think I even still remember the freaking color bowling ball I had back then, but just kept with it up until I did it all 4 years of high school and got most improved quite a few times. Started then my first year of adult league. I had joined my dad's team as a sub, and they tried to get me to sandbag so bad because my dad knew what kind of bowler I was, and I was like, I'm not about that. They didn't want me to shoot over 200 because the handicap I think at the time was like 85 or 90 over 210. So I didn't get no handicap whatsoever, and a lot of the guys didn't like that. But and then just kept progressively getting better and better. I think my high series is 812. Shot that back in 2006. My highest series prior to that was a 799 with a 298 game. I was so mad that night. Then I got 2 300s. First one was back in 2004. And then 800, the 812 was 2 years later. Then I took about a 17-year break, and I had the paperwork to fill out to go to the Pro Tour. Just never turned it in. Decided to have a family instead. And then got back into bowling in the beginning part of 2023 after a long hiatus because my current wife told me to get back doing what I love doing. She bought me my own ball, that Track Paragon Solid, which is awesome. And then got into my first league season. Did about average 231 for the first year back, which is crazy after being off that long. Flirted with the 300 game 5-6 times throughout the year. And flirted with the 800s about 4 or 5 times, and finally got one my last month and a half of the season. Both got my 300 and 800 again.
Yeah, it was almost the end of the season. I remember that.
And I shot the 810 on the last night of league, which was sweepstakes night, and I won the sweepstakes that night and took $100 home with me that night.
Nice.
And then we all know that night I shot that 299 on the damn 10 pin.
Yeah. You was mad about that for a minute.
I think I remember a video about that one.
Don't we all? But then bowling summer league now, which is only a 9 pin. You guys know how that's going. Averaging 273, I think now, with 1 week left to go.
Yeah, you make it look easy. You do.
Hence the old lefty cheat code, you know.
Yeah.
So
That
tell us about that
That's something
lefty
Patrick.
cheat code.
That's something Patrick Roper came up with. He just started calling me Lefty Cheat Code one night because all my high scores, high series, my lack of transition, because being a lefty, there's not much transition I got to deal with. So every chance he gets, he's always saying Lefty Cheat Code, all about them lefties.
it hasn't been a cheat code for me.
And
The moment we find a cheat code for the right side, we'll let you know.
yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
But things probably will change up this fall season, though, because I am having another lefty join my team, so things should get a little more hectic on my side. We pretty much will
Yeah.
throw the same line.
2 lefties versus 10 righties. I think I've
Right.
still put the odds in your favor.
Oh yeah, I can move inside his line because he doesn't move; he stays in the same spot. So if I need to, I'll move inside and throw it out further.
Okay.
If I need
And
to.
Josh, what social media apps are you on? Like, how do people find you, follow you, get in touch with you? Because I know you're really you're getting yourself and your name out there.
I'm on TikTok, Big Josh Bolin, and Facebook. I got a Facebook page, Big Josh J Bolin, also. Just started up.
I still got to follow that one.
Yeah, what the hell, slacker?
I was on vacation. What do you want from me?
But,
I'm back from vacation. Trust me, things are slow.
that's pretty much all it
Yeah, I have been slow.
on social media wise.
Okay.
New thing I'm doing now, though, I just got my volunteer thing all done with the USBC. That's going to be,
Oh, yeah.
that should be in my mailbox Monday. So the next step
right.
will be the level 1 coaching after that. So working on that.
And that'll give stream bowling 5 coaches?
Yeah, one or 2 bronze also, right? Derek's bronze is I can't remember one more.
Segura is bronze.
That's right. I'm on my way. I just got to wait for the next class.
Yeah.
I just gotta.
They're closer to me, Dwight. I have the options of waiting.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a trip up there and definitely get my bronze. That's on my list of things to do within the next year. Come up there or if it's close to you or somewhere, and just go get my bronze certification.
Come on up. We'll go get it together.
Hey, we can make that happen. So Josh, our topic today is going to be about consistency, and I know for a fact that one reason why Patrick called you lefty cheat codes is like you are a left-handed bowler. You don't see much transition, but at the same time, which I didn't know about you is that you had application to be in the PBA, which I think I would have loved to see that. Like, because even with all that being said, you are very consistent, regardless of anything that you do. You know, when we did this challenge that you won over the summer, I know problems people might have complained that you were doing 9-pin no tap, and I had to tell them, look, he strikes that much automatically. It doesn't matter if it's 9-pin or not.
No.
He's going to strike a lot. And I know part of it's because you don't see transition, but you still have to throw the ball. You still have to get the ball there. So our topic today is about consistency, and I think you're the perfect person to have on here about consistencies, because not just because you're left-handed, but because your scores show that you are a very consistent bowler. You show up pretty much every time you bowl. So how do you get that consistency? What is it that you do to make yourself that consistent? Because it's more than just the lanes. It's got to do with something that you're doing.
I honestly don't know what I'm doing. I'm just taking it as I go. I don't really have any rituals. I show up to the bowling alley a half hour early. I meet and talk with people. I don't even think about my game. Or the other times in the car where I think I'm going to shoot a 300. I'm going to try for a 300 tonight or an 800. And then I get pretty close at it. And I'm happy with it. And a couple of times I thought about it, I actually did it. But I don't really have a game plan on what I'm doing. Like if I'm warming up, I'll throw multiple different balls just to see what's reacting better. If I like something more, I'm going to stick with that ball all night more than others. But one of the reasons why I strike so much is because I suck at 7-pin.
Don't leave them. Don't have to pick them up.
Exactly.
Well, even if that's just sheer will, the strike because you don't want to pick it up, that's still pretty impressive. To strike just because you don't want to leave a 7. I mean, I wish I could just. I don't feel like leaving 10 pins today. I would have loved to have that last night, not to leave the 7-10 two times in one night. That was epic, and the whole back row except the 7-pin to just will it.
My worst night in league this past season, I think I shot a 581, and I left. I'm not kidding. I probably left a dozen 7-pin, and it got to the point by that third game I was just laughing so hard I just didn't care no more. I probably missed every single 7-pin except for one. That's how bad I was that night.
We got to get those 7 pins up. We got those 7 pins up. Geek, why don't you go ahead and ask the next question?
Let's see. Kind of got an idea on he doesn't really think about much, so kind of nullified a few of the questions that I had for him. Being a lefty, I know you don't deal with transition that often, but when you do have to deal with a little bit of transition from game to game, maybe it doesn't happen till game 3. What kind of things do you see or do you look for to decide if you're going to move in, move out, if you're going to switch balls? What kind of things do you see that give you those keys?
Other than the ball hooking up too high into the pocket is the main thing I'm looking for. If it's going too high or snapping too hard, I know I need to switch to a lesser ball, which I ain't got many of those because everything I have hooks like crazy, except for that hammer new, which I hate.
Yeah.
But I use that ball for my corner pins because it does not hook unless the lanes are extremely fried.
Okay. So, talking about the bowling balls you have, what type do you normally gravitate to? Like you said, most of your stuff hooks, which is kind of funny. And the reason why I say it's funny because it's not just because you're left-handed. I have a left-handed friend who's in New Orleans, a really good bowler like yourself, but he's the complete opposite of you. Like you are high speed, high rev left-hander, and it's like, okay, you're saying that you have mostly strong bowling balls. He's on the other end of the spectrum. Like I call Geek rev challenge. This dude has none. It's like his rev rate is literally like maybe 250, and he suitcases the ball. The average is 220 plus, but every single ball in his bag is a heavy oil ball. And whenever he gets into a situation where the lanes are flying or he's looking for some type of change, he doesn't have that. And I find that quite interesting that you're kind of in the same situation, but you have way more hand. So yeah. I want to know, like, what was the thought process behind buying those bowling balls that you do have?
Because I throw probably about 18 and a half miles per hour. So if I have anything that doesn't really hook, it ain't going to go to the pocket. It's just going to go straight. Hence that hammer new. I could throw it over the same line I do my stronger balls and everything. Nothing. Get no reaction out of it whatsoever. So, and everything I have is drilled pin up except for my TNT is drilled pin down. Mm-hmm. Wish I would have put that one pin up, but you
had to try something new.
Yeah, I wanted something new for like when I start doing more tournaments and stuff. But the last tournament I did, I just didn't like the looks of it. So I think I ended up throwing that cracked sensor, I think, most of the last 4 or 5 games.
The sensor pearl.
Yeah, the pearl, not the solid.
Right.
Okay. So would you say, I mean, this is just us digging to get into your head, what you see, because you're the second left-hander we had on the show. Quite different because Jashane is two-handed left-handed. You're traditional one-handed high rev. When you're looking at the ball reaction going down the lane, would it be that most of your stuff just goes like super far down lane and just snaps towards the back? Or that's why you need something to kind of pick up, because there is less friction on your side of the lane. And that'll be proof that, okay, they're completely different and you can't look at left side versus right side as most people kind of look at it like, okay, well, no, you guys have it easy. I mean, describing what you're actually seeing, you know, it might be that it's just really different and that you can't really do the same things like you would do on the right side. So, like, what is it that you see? Like, what most of your shots, is it just sailing, or is like what are you actually looking at from your perspective?
I'd say it's more they're sailing a lot further down than I want. And I try to slow it down, but I just can't slow my speed down for nothing. If I slow it down, it just goes Brooklyn all day long.
Okay.
And then, well,
We're going to need to get this guy on some sport patterns, Dwight.
I know, I need to.
I tell you.
My alley will not do sports shots for nothing. I talked to the pro shop guy, and he said they tried it, and whoever was laying down the oil was not getting the patterns right or nothing. So they
Yeah, that ain't good.
trying. And then
Dwight dealt with some of that, and it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. That's why I'm not bowling sports shot this summer. I don't want to do it.
The closest bowling alley to me that's probably got a sports shot is probably 45 minutes to an hour away.
And that's sad, really.
And I'm not about to drive that far just one night for.
Yeah.
As much as I would love to try it out, but
I think you actually probably do well on a sports shot, considering that it's not that you have a thought process. You're one of those bowlers that it seems like you can just pick up a ball, you throw the ball, you see what you do or don't like, and you go with what you like and you make it work. You know, there's not many bowlers that can do that. You're one of two that I know. I know the other guy I know is Beast 33. He's very much like that. He knows some information about his stuff, but he just pretty much just picks up the ball and goes with whatever reaction works, and he shoots good. You know, and I think the absence of all that technical knowledge and worrying about all that kind of just frees your mind to just see the lanes for what they are, make your adjustments for what you see, and that makes you you're a really formidable bowler. Like, if I knew you was in the field on a house shot tournament, and I was ever in your area, I'd be like, oh, dang it, I got to bowl against Josh. Like, this is like, it's all right. It's gonna be some work. I'm gonna hope that you lose in another bracket somewhere else so I get the win, because it's gonna be hard to beat you. Because, like I said, you're just that consistent of a bowler, and I take my hat off to you for that. You're just that good.
The last tournament I did, I think out of 39, I think it was like 30 some odd bowlers, I think I finished second to dead last. Because that was the second time I ever bowled in that alley, plus their lanes. The front half is synthetic, back half was wood. I could not find a ball that would work at all for that.
And I could see that being an issue, because you're going from sliding to friction to straight up high friction.
Like immediately.
Yeah.
Like, my Paragon Pearl is my ultimate go-to ball. That thing was snapping way too hard. Hence why I think halfway through I just said screw it, and I was throwing that sensor Pearl the rest of the day because I just couldn't do nothing.
I was just thinking about some of the stuff you said one of our earlier shows when we were talking about nationals. my very best nationals trip ever was when I had no idea what I was. All of the knowledge that I have today was many years ago, and I just went out and I threw the shot that looked the best to me and had my best week, my best tournament ever. Sometimes that pays off to not overthink like that.
Speaking of nationals, next year, Baton Rouge, my wife says if I can come up with the money, I can go.
Oh.
So with that being said, you guys already know, and everybody that's in the live knows that we are definitely taking Stream in a whole new direction. It's officially an actual LLC now. It's a lot of other things, but very soon I'm going to have to start listing for who is interested in going to nationals and try to get that stuff in and get days booked, because it's going to fill up fast, especially with it being over right now. It just ended last month at the end of the month, but I think we could get some pretty good teams together from across the country to go bowl in whatever what's the name classifications that they have, and then if we do it for a while and get the teams built up and accommodated the bowling with each other, I think we even have a chance of possibility of getting on the board, with some of the people that we know, definitely on our group. So I will be getting that orchestrated. No, I'm still recovering from Vegas. I ain't gonna lie. That was, and I ain't do nothing. I stayed in the room most of the time. I went to the bowling alley.
It's still Vegas.
Yeah, it's still Vegas. It's like I'm still out of it a little bit.
Right. That is only a 10-hour drive for me, so I can make the drive.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys both of you are about down there a little closer.
Yeah, you're in St. Louis or close to St. Louis?
I'm about an hour west of St. Louis.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's, if I were to be in Memphis, that's not that far of a drive. That's an extra, I don't know, I have to calculate it, I have to Google it later on. But tell us about a funny or awkward or a WTF moment that you can remember in bowling, like something
especially
that
being a lefty.
I can't even think of something.
Oh man, you weren't kidding. You are boring sometimes, Josh.
7 things. Or that night I shot that. That night that I shot that 298 and 799 series in one set, which I was just laughing hysterically. The pros were actually in town that week having a tournament at that bowling alley, and Dick Weber and all them were there, and I got him to autograph my 3-game set of that, which I threw away. I don't know where that's at now. But I'll tell you, that had to be my biggest what the fuck moment, was choking on the 298, choking on the 300 and 800 in the same night by a pin or two.
Yeah, all on one ball.
Pretty much. And I'm pretty sure I left I think it went a little light, maybe a little heavy, and I left the 6-9, I think, for that 299.
That was a horrible, horrible shot. You left the 8-9. You pulled it or something.
Well, it was my first one. I was nervous as hell.
I was gonna say, sounds like somebody was shaking in their shoes.
Something.
At least you went 8-9 and didn't go Brooklyn. I went Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I was so nervous my first one, and then just beep. It happened. It carried those. I was like, "Hey, I'll walk away with this," and then flushed it the last one. I'm like, "Yes, I did it finally." Took me long enough, but I got there.
Yeah, I was completely, utterly shocked that I was able to get a 300 and 800 my first year back in fucking 17 years. I was still in disbelief of it.
Okay.
Hashtag lefty cheat code.
Yes, sir.
The lefty cheat code for real.
Damn lefties.
So, Josh, we know that you're on your journey to become a level 1 coach. So, what inspired you to do so? Like, what made you think all of a sudden now, okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and be a coach and become, USB certified and on the board for being a coach for bowling. What was like the final decision, or what was your thought process to make you come to that and say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do this?
I've just kind of been thinking about it for a while, and the youth leagues here, I know they don't really have much going for them. They don't even do like a full season. They split it up in halves. They'll do like 8 weeks, take a month or two off, and then do another 8 weeks to finish it off. And I wish it was longer, but I know a lot of them could need help. Need help. I bowl with one of the kids that I bowl with in my 9-pin league. He's got another nickname for me. How you guys all got me lefty cheat code. He calls me Mr. Overrated. And he's 14, and he's a two-hander.
Is he left-handed?
No, he's right.
Oh.
So, well, I don't know. And then you guys talking about like all of us getting it done and all that. So I kind of just went with it and started it.
I like it.
And now, as soon as I get some bills caught up and get the sales tax paid on my new car, then I can save up to do the coaching.
I know you got a couple little ones. Any of your kids interested in getting onto that youth league?
The only one that's
follow in Dad's footsteps.
My 13-year-old, but my 13-year-old plays select baseball, which pretty much will takes up his whole weekends and everything, so he wouldn't be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So he just likes to go bowling every once in a while with me or whatever. He'll ask if we can go bowling when he's with me on my weekends or whatever. And he doesn't even put his fingers in the bowling ball. He just grabs it and with two hands and just tosses it and gets it to hook and everything else.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's just you have a natural gene for throwing a bowling ball down a lane. Your kids are just picking up bowling balls without putting fingers in it, throwing it down the dang lane.
My two older kids have no interest for it.
No.
Now, my soon-to-be 11-month-old daughter, when she gets a couple years older, guarantee that'll be her second home, the bowling alley.
I was just going to bring her up. I was going to say, you've got one coming up, and if you get your coaching certifications, she's liable to become the next consistent bowler in the household.
Yeah. And then we're still waiting to see if she's going to be a lefty or righty. She's been doing a lot of stuff with her left hand, but then doing some with her right, so hopefully she becomes a lefty.
I was going to say, what you hoping for?
Me and the wife's left-handed, which is odd, so hoping for a double here.
Yes, that'd be a trifecta right there. Mom, dad, lefty. I'm a lefty. We just all left-handed people in the family.
That's crazy. I run into too many families.
I'm the only lefty in my immediate family.
And that's more what I run into. Like, my family has very limited lefties. I think maybe two that I can think of that have multiple lefties in your household like that, especially if your little one comes up as a lefty. That'd be pretty special.
Yeah, I would.
So this is a question that I'm just going off the basis. I'm about to just stir up the pot. And this is, I was thinking of what to ask because with you being just a natural talent at it and not really putting too much thought into it, it kind of changed some of our questions. So I'm trying to think of stuff on the fly. But
yep.
I'm going to ask this, and then I'm going to ask this probably for every left-hander. I forgot to ask Shane, but next time we have him on the show again, I'll ask him. And I'm going to ask this for every left-hander that's on the show. Do you believe the lanes are unfair for right versus left?
Nope. Grant, there's more righties, but we still deal with transition. The lane conditions change with the humidity and the AC in the buildings, and we fight it too, just not as much as the righties, but we fight it.
Okay. I do have a question that was on our list, just going off of that particular answer right there. I know Dwight and I have discussed it in the past, how much the bowlers on the lane and what they're doing make an impact on what Dwight and I do as right-handers. You got people throwing urethane, you got people throwing plastic. the biggest gripe that I've heard from my friend that I bowl with on Mondays that's a lefty is he doesn't have anybody helping him set that shot up. Yeah, we all talk about how the oil is consistent, but I know that as a team, sometimes you can set up a pocket, you can set up a down lane friction point if the whole team is working in that direction. Do you think that that would help you or hinder you, or are you just content with that fresh oil all game long?
Honestly, I'm content with it. I don't throw a urethane. I have no intentions on getting a urethane ball or anything like that. I don't even own a plastic ball for spares.
That's probably why you miss so many 7-pins.
I flatten my wrist out, just throw it straight. But
Not well enough, apparently.
apparently not.
I'd like those 9-pin no tap scores readjusted for all those 7 pins he may or may not have left and missed.
Honestly, I have not left that very many 7 pins in league. It's all been like high 6 pins or stone 8s or 9s, a few 10 pins, but not very many 7s, believe it or not.
No, it's by the will of the lefty cheat code. You don't leave the 7. You just make sure you don't leave the 7. You can leave anything and don't leave a 7.
His average during the season shows that he doesn't leave many of them.
No, really, you really don't at all. You naturally do strike a lot.
Hopefully I can duplicate it this coming season.
But I think with the whole sports shot thing, with that, though, following up on what you're saying, Geek, is I think when we do go to nationals as a team, all of us stream and everything, I think what's going to be best for our left-handers is if we do set up teams where especially if it's 5 people, where there's at least, if there's a left-hander on the team, we need to get another one on there if they're bowling similar. But if someone like Josh, because the shots at nationals, I mean, some people may think that it's just oily and it's just it's nothing like that. It's gonna hook. Josh probably wouldn't have that much problem finding a decent spot. I mean, hell, even to be honest, Mac McNeil dominated the nationals for how many years in a row in singles, doubles, and teams? No, dude was any left-hander. So not that he really needs the help, but I think he knew how to set up the lanes. But even then, when he was dominating, they also had prep time, and that prep time back then helped a lot of those good bowlers, succeed and catch the eagle. Now it's a whole different story. You don't know what you're on, so you don't know how to prepare, and then you end up having the wrong thing in your bag, which I would tell anybody going to the nationals, have your strong, go with what all the pros say. Have your strong ball that's early, have a ball that's beneath that, a ball that's beneath that, your benchmark, a spare ball, and urethane. No, that way you cover all bases, because you don't know nowadays what to go look for. And if they ever do, which I don't think they will, bring back letting us know what the pattern is beforehand, then that's going to set up the whole thing of people thinking, oh, well, you're cheating. And then I've even had, I don't know if you've seen the comment on the last video about the USBC Open, that it's unfair for bowlers who are on staff to throw new equipment. They think it's highly unfair. And the crazy part is, it's like, I know there's a rule or a setting where they're not supposed to throw certain equipment at certain places. I think it's league. I'm not sure, but there's some type of quota in their staffing contract that they can't throw new equipment in certain places. If they get caught, they could lose their contract. Something like that. I don't know. What I have to ask Reggie. I think Reggie explained that before when I had the last show. We'll probably touch on that when we actually get a staffer on board and actually ask that. But what do you guys feel about that? I don't know. I mean, it is an advantage if you have the newest and greatest technology, but at the same time, is it though? Because you still have to throw the ball. You still don't know what that ball is going to do. What do you guys feel about that?
Let's hear your side first, Josh.
To me, it don't really matter, because just because it's new doesn't mean it's going to be better. it's not going to react. I don't know. It doesn't really have an advantage just because it's being brand spanking new. Sometimes older equipment's the way to go. New equipment, like I got a ball over here that's from 2008. It still does what it needs to do when I throw it. And I haven't thrown it in probably a year or so, but
I'd say my take on it is, everybody talks about that new ball carry. In league, I think that might, maybe in league that's something. But I said when we were talking on our Nationals cast a few weeks ago with Patrick, I've bought new balls. I've seen other people buy brand new balls. Staffers with brand new equipment that's technically not released to the public yet. That it still comes down to making the shots. I don't think that them rolling the brand new equipment is that much of a benefit other than it's new. And again, it's going to come down to getting in the right equipment, getting in the right line, and then being able to repeat those shots. I've seen people buy brand new balls thinking this is the ball for Nationals, and they lay an egg just like everybody else does. Like Josh with an older ball, they go out there and just torch the lanes, beat up on everybody. I don't think it makes that much of a difference, honestly.
No, we have Damn Good Average Bowler. He says the same thing. He said there's no advantage to having equipment before it's released. Me, like I said, I don't think it's that much of a big deal, honestly, because there's been studies that show that if you take the newest brand new ball and then you find a pristine old ball that's like maybe 4 or 5 years old, heavy oil, same type of covers, have the strongest technology, and throw them, there's not much difference between what's brand new and what's 5-6 years old if you keep it up. I've even to attest to that. I've had a ball. One of the balls I've thrown 300 with is a Columbia 300 Pure Physics, and I bought another one that I happened to find in good order, good condition, brand new. It worked the same. The only difference was the driller drilled it different from the one that I had, so it reacted different. I ended up getting rid of it because I didn't like the reaction, but it still read the lanes like I remembered it. It still moved like it did. So that is definitely something that I thought I wanted to touch on because I seen that comment. I thought it was quite interesting. But I don't think it really gives anybody because it's still the person throwing the ball.
It's the same. It's our show. It's what our show is all about. This consistency. It's a real thing in bowling, and if you can consistently repeat shots like Josh does, like some of the best bowlers in the world do, it doesn't matter what's in your hand, you're going to be better. That's plain and simple.
Yeah, and then Nationals is just knowing how to prepare, knowing how to read lanes, but also that's just knowing what you have in your bag. You know that you need surface. Like when I went for my first time, I kid you not, I was shocked to see so many people throw shiny. And I'm looking at the reaction of the pearl balls and the shine the balls they're throwing, and it was like, that's far from being consistent at all. Like, why is nobody throwing sanded equipment? The few people that I saw throwing sanded equipment or dulled down equipment was the one scoring. And I'm thinking in my head, like, what was their thought process before they came out here? No, why would they think shiny works on sport? You need something to control your reaction. And it really caught me off guard when I say that many, there's in the bowling plaza, there's 60 lanes, is it? Or 62?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's 60 lanes. And I literally went down and watched every pair my first night in Vegas. And kid you not, on all 60 lanes, between those 60 lanes, probably about 10, maybe 15 people had dulled down equipment. Everybody else was throwing something shiny. And I thought it was like, all the scores was low too. I'm like, well, I think their problem is he's got the wrong surface on the bowling ball. But it's a
surface is underrated. Surface is underrated in today's game. Everybody sees that shine on the ball and think it's the latest and greatest. And surface gives you a lot more control over what you're doing and a lot less over under down lane that you just can't predict sometimes.
Yeah. And they should, I think, and and maybe we need to send this to USBC. I really honestly think they should make leagues have actual patterns, not a house shot, have challenge patterns. At least 8-to-1, 7-to-1 ratio, something closer to what people actually bowl on for nationals, so that when they get out there, they're not totally unaware. No, they actually have to make some type of surface change.
Yeah, I remember you bringing that up earlier in one of the other shows.
And I will continue to bring it up until they listen to me. Hopefully. It's like, hey.
Last week when I was at the bowling alley and I was talking to my PSO, he was telling me they're supposed to be changing up our house shot this coming fall. They're supposed to be slicking them up for us. I was like, oh, great. But we'll see if that's true or not, I guess.
Yeah,
Hopefully
just move
not.
left and throw straighter, Josh.
True. Well, I already throw hard and down 10, so.
You're like the left-handed version of Nick Contreras, which is our big guy, big bowler down here. He throws the ball hard, right-hander, but can't slow the ball down for the life of him. But dude strikes a lot, just like Nick, just like you. And actually, I would love to see y'all two on a pair. I might have to try to get that set up because you're both big guys, and you both have this high backswing. You both have a ton of revs and a ton of speed, and carry out this world. I think that would just be something awesome as like a highlight reel to watch between you two throw the ball.
They need some cases of pins in the back parking lot to replace a few of them.
Yeah, because definitely you're knocking the hell out the pins. Like I could tell from your videos, like you're hitting the pins pretty hard. No, you're probably like 19, 20, maybe 21 miles an hour in speed.
I'm more probably around 18 and a half.
I don't believe that.
I also think it has to do with where like I've asked that before. People try to gauge and talk about, unless you actually get it gauged by one of those chipped balls or start doing the calculations. We've got one house that measures me at 17 and a half, and I go to another house, throw the same exact stuff, and it measures me at about 15. So it's like, it depends on where it's measuring the ball. I'm with Dwight. I think off your hand, Josh, it's faster than the 17.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely. No, one thing that a lot of people don't think about is your release speed is always faster than your finish speed. No, I actually got into a heated argument with somebody years ago about talking about release speed and finish speed. He's like, I don't throw the ball more than something miles an hour. Like, it was weird. I'm like, dude, you throw the ball harder for your spare shots than you do your strike shots. No, I throw them the same. I said, no, you don't. I was like, because if you did, you wouldn't get the same amount of reaction on a lane if you did. It's like, even the sheet said he was throwing his spare shot at like 22, but his strike shot was at like 18, 17. I was like, the ball has to slow down for you to hook.
Yeah, it has to slow down before it will take that turn.
It's like, try throwing a hook ball at 19 miles an hour. You got to have the revs to match. If you don't have the rev to match, it's not gonna move. Which I wish. Oh, trust me, that's the reason why I dropped the 14. Because I wanted to get the speed higher than the rev rate so I could just straighten everything out. Because that'll help my carry, that'll help out a lot of things. But apparently, I am very heavy-handed, so I might have to drop the 14, which that ain't 13. That ain't happening. I threw a 13-pound ball since I was 10.
Rev dominant, rev challenged.
I wouldn't do it because I got one of my teammates from last year. He has a 13-pound ball, and every time he hits the damn pocket with it, it doesn't even just fall through. It dies off. And he leaves a lot of 5-10 splits and everything.
That's because the ball is so dang on light. Black Swan has a comment to what you said, Geek. She says she's extra rev challenged.
Yeah, our favorite Black Swan here. I was watching her earlier today. She was getting after it.
She's not really rev challenged. She just circles the ball. It's just circles.
She's another one that's really upped her consistency. Just watching her practice, watching her roll in leagues, she's done a really good job of getting more consistent with where she puts the ball. You don't see her miss too much anymore.
No.
If she doesn't strike, it's just because she's not quite in the pocket or she just needs to make a small adjustment. But over and over and over, she's putting the ball down in pretty much the same spot.
Yeah, and she made KBK semifinals last night. So, not last night, but like last week. And I wasn't shocked, not one bit. I actually expected her to win it. No, I'm not sure where she finished at, but I don't think she won. I think she would have posted that and been blasting us all that she won it. But the fact that she's been working at it and definitely got to the semifinals, that's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome.
Carl, Mr. Jaded BMX, you are another example of somebody who's been working their tail off and learning so fast, so incredibly fast. He was just teching. He's challenged, and Swan and Carl, they're both some of my favorite people to watch just because they have really, really put in the work. There's some people who are naturally talented and some people who work hard at it, and they're two of the hardest working people I've seen out on the lanes.
Yes, they are. Jada thinks he won't be ready for nationals next year. I said, yes, you will.
Yeah, I think so.
With all of us and the work he's putting in and everything, it's like, you'll be ready. No, you have the perfect people to tell you what to do when you go to nationals. So it's not like you're going out blind. And then Swan is going to be the next one. Swan, you're coming too. Well, you said you're going already, so I don't know if she's going
this year. Yeah.
Yeah. So
she said she was on a team
to see what she does. I'm trying to get all of us together so we can go at the same time. I think it's crazy because it normally starts in February, and they pushed it back to March to start because of Super Bowl, Mardi Gras, all that stuff.
I am going in March next year to Baton Rouge, but then I think the following season, what is it, Vegas or Reno?
It's Reno.
I'm going to start. I'm probably going to let the team I bowl with know that if we don't get moved to match up with what you and I have going on with Stream, I may make that move and let them replace me and move over to a Stream team. I really want to make this happen.
I'm thinking if we can get people to join us, no, you have a group. If they're interested in being part of Stream, no, I will look up a way for everybody to get credit for putting together teams and just having the same name.
My guys don't care. Let's get it all under Stream, in my opinion. Let's make Stream. Like, I really want to see Stream on that board as one of those. We brought in 10 teams. I think that would be special.
Hell with 10. I want to fill the whole plaza.
I'm going to start with 10. I'm not going to get greedy yet.
I'm greedy. And hey, Bronx Slayer, she done joined us in here. I want 60 teams with Stream on top. And from different cities. Just Stream CA, Stream CO, Stream MS. Like, I want it from different cities. No, I want to take up at least one side to start. No, I know we're not going to get there, but that's a goal. You know, they say if you set your goals high, you fall short. You're not that bad off.
You know, I got a big mouth out here in Colorado. I'll be dragging people along into the Stream teams. I can tell you that.
And if I can get between you and then if I can convince Derek to get the 12 teams that they have possibly going from Jacksonville and get the teams from my area to join us, I think it's like 5 or 6 teams. And then get some more teams from other areas like in Georgia, boy, it could happen in 1 year. We just got to talk to the right people. Jada said he's down for a Michigan team. I'm pretty sure we have some people up in Michigan that's in the group. You know, that is nothing. That's not out of possibility with Stream. No, we are across the whole nation and even some international. But that's an expensive trip. Coming from outside.
I am going to Puerto Rico next year, I believe. I'm going to make that happen. I got invited this year. Obviously, I got shoulder surgery, but there's a really cool tournament. I know Segura, she's going to Puerto Rico this year. You and I have discussed making some jerseys for her and Devin and their doubles team. I did get invited.
Is it Colombia or Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico, I think it was.
Okay. Well, that's not that far. And I'm thinking it was going to Colombia. I was like, that's a long.
No, I think it's Puerto Rico. I'll double check the flyer. My buddy Mike sent me the flyer and asked if I could go. Obviously, I'm not quite there yet. Getting close. The shoulder's feeling good.
Yeah, we're looking forward to Right-Handed Geek coming back.
Yeah,
Left-Handed
not
Geek
as much as I'm looking forward to it.
Left-Handed Geek is not in the equation.
It's not a cheat code for me. I'm telling you right now, there is no cheat code that I've found yet.
I'm looking forward to widening my gap between me and Geek this coming fall, so
Oh,
need to
geez, here we go. Here we go.
It's going to be an interesting new season. Jaded Geek said you're going on an international Coach Geek tour, which I do believe that's going to happen. But let's go ahead and wrap things up. No, Josh, what and who do you want to shout out as far as people that you want to know that you're on this live and you're doing these things and you're a part of stream? So what is it that you want to say to the people, or just who you want to shout out?
I don't really have anybody to shout out.
You're so easy. You're so easy to deal with. It's just like
he said it at the beginning of the show. I'm so boring.
It's like if you was a superstar, you would probably just say, "Look, as long as you have some peanut M&Ms in there, I don't care." Just
hey,
have
if you got Josh, if you got nobody to shout out, I'm going to shout out your mom. She's been doing a lot of stuff for me. I know I'm about to place another order with some stuff she's doing.
True, I forgot about that.
A lot of my geek stuff comes from Josh's mom when I do some geek swag. So,
yeah, I forgot all about that because usually when I'm over at her house and I see some extra geek stuff laying around, I snag it.
Josh got a whole bag of stuff that I don't have.
Oh, wow. Black Swan also chimed in. She says she's going to get her some geek wins this year too. So, geek, everybody's trying to kick you while you're down.
Hang on a second here. I'm going to put this in front of the camera here. This was number 1. Derek has to send me number 2. This one was signed by Corey Johnson. I'm going to be collecting chamois this year, Swan, so get one ready.
Shots fired. That's all
The
I'm
only
saying.
thing I got to say before we get offline, hurry up and get that PayPal shit fixed because I want my ball, damn it.
Yeah, I know you do. And this is the PayPal. Like, y'all security is ridiculous. It's like they didn't shut it down, but there's like, oh, you're getting too much money. You might be a scam. I'm like, really? I just opened the damn account. But
brand new.
It's being worked on.
I'm really looking forward to that archetype hybrid.
Well,
Josh,
you will get.
Dwight's just trying to save you from your wife. She's gonna hurt you when she sees another box show up.
Nah,
no, she's not, because you can tell you want it. You want it. It is what it is. But next week, y'all, we are going to have Aaron Thomas on the show, a.k.a. AT, from up in the Delaware region. And that topic is going to be one thing that he is very good at, and that is the art of trash talking. And that's going to be a very interesting episode because trash talking isn't bowling. We do trash talk. Yeah. We do get at each other. So how you cope with it, how you deal with it, or how you deliver it is a very important thing. So we will see y'all next week. This is Coach Go Time signing off with Coach Geek and future Coach Josh. And this is Let's Talk Bowling. We'll see y'all next time. Y'all be good.
Out.
Out.